Hello people, Aman here. So today is Pi Day and we'll be celebrating Pi Day today. For those of you who don't know, Pi Day is celebrated on March 14th. If you actually write down the date, it would be 314 and that is the value of pi 3.14159 and so on. Okay, so pi is an irrational number. If you didn't know that, that means that you cannot find the exact value of pi. You can only find the value to a certain amount of digits. As the digits, they keep on going on and on till infinity. There is no end to pi. Okay, that's why it's an irrational number. That means you cannot also express pi as a fraction. So in school time you might have heard about 22 by 7. 22 by 7 is not the actual value of pi. Neither is 3 or 3.5. Those are not the value of pi because those are rational numbers. Okay, so pi, we'll try to find out pi using programming. So we'll be using a specific series named Gregory Leibniz series, and the other series is Nilakantha series. Okay, so I'll just quickly show you. This is the Gregory Leibniz series, and this is the series that we'll be using in our programming to figure out the value of pi. So we'll compute this sum and then we'll multiply it by 4 and we shall get pi, hopefully. Let's see how many iterations we have to go through to get a meaningful answer. The other series is this. So pi would equal to 3 plus 4 by 2 into 3 into 4 and so on and so forth. So we'll also be trying to calculate this, and let's see which series is better for finding the answer. Okay, so let's start programming. We'll start with our first series, and this is our first series. So what we'll be doing is we'll be creating a loop, a for loop, and then we'll be finding the answer for this, and then we'll be multiplying 4 and we'll see the answer. Okay, so by starting, let's just make a method. We'll just start with method 1 because we are using another algorithm as well. We'll put a variable named max, and so that we can change that value whenever we want. So what we'll do is for I in range. Now the sum starts with a 1, so we'll start with 1 and then we'll go till max. We can even add max plus 1 if you are into that, but if you put max value as 1000, then the iterations would be 999. So let's just fix that. Okay, then what we can do is we also have to introduce a variable named sum, and we'll just put it for 0 right now, as it's just addition, so that's completely fine. If you're going for a multiplicative series, then you might have to put sum equals 1, but for this 0 makes sense. Okay, so we'll just start with sum equals sum plus. So what this will do is we'll just make the value of sum the next time the entire loop goes through. It will be equal to itself plus whatever the series is. Now if we pay attention to the series, it starts with a 1, right, and then it's alternating plus and minus signs. So what we'll do is we'll just start with the fraction part first. Okay, so that should be 1 divided by I. So that would mean 1 over 1 plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3 and all that stuff. But as you can see, it's just odd numbers. So what we can do is we'll add a 2i to this, and then we'll add plus 1. And we'll just put this inside a bracket. So what this sum will do is it's now basically just saying 1 divide. So when the entire loop runs for the first time, the first value goes inside this I, that would be 2 plus 1, 3. Now I'm missing out the initial one, so what we can do is we can put a minus 1. So the first value will be 1 over 1 plus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 4 and so on and so forth. Now as you can see, this is the addition of all the odd fractions. Okay, this is not alternating, so we need this alternating sign. So how do we do that? We just add up another term here, and we'll just put it minus 1, and then we'll try to exponent it by I plus 1. Now we can do I. If we do I, that would mean that the first term would be negative, but we don't need that. The first term is positive, then negative. So we'll do a I plus 1. We can even go for I minus, actually if we go for I minus 1, then that would be minus 1 raised to 0. Yeah, don't go for I minus 1. I plus 1 is the way to go. We'll put extra brackets, so the order of operations is maintained, and we'll have to put a multiplicative sign here. And yeah, that's it. That's basically the first series. So we found out the sum, and let's try to print the answer as well. Let's not do it inside the for loop. Yeah, print sum. Now if I try to find the sum for this, wait, this will not give the answer because we have to call the function, obviously. Let's do the first 1000 iterations. Okay, so here you can see that this is the value that has been given to us, and obviously that's not the value of pi, but we are missing something. It's pi over 4. Okay, so we have to multiply the final result by 4, and then let's see. So yeah, it says the value of pi is 3.140592, and we know that that is not the actual value of pi. So what went wrong? So obviously this series is it seems to be oscillating. Let's just try to print the sum inside, and we'll put up a few things. We'll put up an f string saying this is the value, or maybe we just can put up the iteration. So I iteration, and then we'll put on curly brackets here, and let's try this. Okay, I have to scroll a lot more. We'll just go to the first iteration. So the first iteration, the answer, fourth iteration, yeah. So the first iteration, the answer was 4. It makes sense because the sum will start with 1, and then the 4 is multiplied, so it would be 4. So that is obviously 4 is not the value of 5. Please do not keep that value. Then the second would be 2.6666, and that would be 1 minus 1/3, so that would be 2/3, and 4 is multiplied, so that would be 8 divided by 3, and that is basically 2.66. And now as the series keeps on going, the more iterations go, the value seems to be getting closer, and as we can see, it keeps on alternating between 3 and 2, and as we move on, we can see the value is above pi or if it's below pi. So the actual value of pi is 3.141592. That is the value that we want, and this our iteration value, the sum keeps on jumping between 3.141592 and above and below. And I mean that makes sense. Okay, as we keep on adding these values will keep on getting smaller and smaller, and we will eventually reach pi. And let's just see what is our 1000th iteration. It's 3.14059. Now that is good enough if you just wanted to draw a circle on a piece of paper, but this kind of precision is not enough. We need more terms. So what we'll do is we'll just remove this stuff again, and we'll try to figure out the value, and let's go for 1 lakh iteration. Let's see. Okay, now this is a much better. Say it's 3.1415. That is 5 digits of accuracy. That is good enough. But we don't do good enough here. Let's go to 1 million and let's see. So it might take some time. Obviously, every single time I increase the 0 over here, the programming time goes up tenfold. So 3.14159, and then these digits are wrong. Let's just try one more and see. So it might take well over like 2 seconds or at least 8 seconds. Let's just see what happens. Okay, 3.1415925. So it is correct till here, but these values, the other values are garbage. Okay, and it took 6.4 seconds to calculate this. So I mean this series is kind of good, but it doesn't give us perfect answers. So let's move on to the next method. Okay, so let's use the next method. Okay, the next method we'll just start by creating a function named method number 2, and we'll create the same variable slash parameter for this. And as you can see, the core logic is same, because the series is almost the same. It's alternating. You can see plus minus plus minus over here, and it's in a fraction form. So we'll worry about this plus 3 later on. What we can do is we can take this 4 out common from the entire series, and we can multiply the 4 later on. Okay, so currently we have to make a series which is 1 divided by 2 into 3 into 4 minus 1 divided by 4 into 5 into 6 and so on. So how we're going to do that is we're going to just make the same for loop structure, and we'll start from 1 to max plus 1, and then we're going to write sum equals sum, because obviously it's still a sum. Now we need something which goes below 1, so that will be 1 divided by, we'll add another pair of parentheses. Okay, now you can see the first term, it's a 2, 1 divided by 2, then 3 and then 4. So to tackle that, we can add a 2i in here. Okay, now the next term is obviously multiplied by 3, so that would be 2 times I plus 1. So if you put the I, so this is 1, so that would be 2 multiplied by 2i plus 1. So if you put 1 here, that would be 2 plus 1, 3. And we'll do the same thing. And that would be 2 multiplied by I plus 2. And I need to add a parenthesis over here. And one more there. Okay, now the entire thing also has to go under parentheses. There are a lot of parentheses, do not worry about this. So basically 1 divided by this entire thing. Okay, and it makes sense, and it also works out for the second term as well. So if we put 2 in here, so that would be 2 times 2, that would be 4, the first term. 2 times 2 plus 1, 5. 2 times 2 plus 2, 6. So it seems to be working, and for the third term it would be the same thing. 2 times 3 would be 6, and then 7 and 8 and so on. Okay, so we already got the series in proper. Now we just have to do the alternating sums. As you can see, it's a plus minus plus, so the same thing that we did here applies. So I'm just gonna copy it from here and I'm just gonna paste it. So this is the alternating thing, and now let's just try to print the sum, and we'll call the function method 2, and let's try 1000 terms, and let's see 0. Oh yeah, we forgot to add the plus 3. Okay, should have done that. So plus 3, and then we also have to multiply the entire thing with 4. So we have to multiply it by 4 first, and then we have to add plus 3. So we'll do that, and we'll see the value, and the value is 3.14159.265. Now up till I know, if my memory serves right, this is the correct value, and we already went till 1000 iterations. That's it. For the previous method, we had to go to at least 1 million iterations to even get this close to a perfect value. Now if we go over, let's say let's go till 1 million as well. It might take a few seconds. Oh, it actually didn't. So 3.14159.26535. I know for a fact that this is correct till here. And so here we can clearly see that the second method that we are using, this method, Nilkantha series, it's clearly a superior series when it comes to calculating the value of pi. Okay, so now let's just see how these both series compare. So we already know the second method is far better. Okay, now let's just put the values on a graph and let's just compare the graph. Okay, so what I basically just did right now is I just added a bunch of variables. It's a list x and y. Also we need to import matplotlib, and we need to do that because we need an entire functioning graph. So I'll be importing matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. Okay, let's hope I do not misspell anything. Okay, and now what we'll be doing is we'll be populating the y axis with all of these values. So what I'm gonna do is y dot append. So that will just put all of these values inside y, and now we also need the values for x as well. So what I'm going to do is x dot append I. So this makes sense because y would be the value which we are getting out of, and x is the number of iterations. So the iterations grow from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till whatever our max value is. And now we're just gonna exit this loop, and now we're just gonna write plt dot plot, and we're just gonna put the value of x. Then we'll do the same thing with y. I'm not gonna bother giving them labels, but you can do that. You can write plt dot x label x blah blah blah, and I'm just gonna write plt dot show, and we should execute this program. But hold on, we still need to call the method. So that would be method 1, and we'll do this for, let's say, 1000 10,000. Let's do it for 10,000, and let's see if there are any errors first of all. So it seems to be counting. Did anything go wrong? Okay, this is not the plot that was supposed to go. Just guys, give me a second, let me see what happened wrong. Yeah, okay, apparently I made a mistake with the syntax. I tried to plot two different things. It's supposed to be x comma y. Now let's just run the entire thing and let's see. Okay, so this is the value. Okay, so the series is alternating, but we cannot see that. We need to decrease. Let's put it around 100 and keep it manageable. Okay, so as you can see, the first value started at 4 and then went down here. And if I zoom in a bit over here, you can see that the value is trying to get closer and closer to 3.14, but it's gonna have a hard time because it keeps on alternating. Okay, so let's just put on a few more terms, and let's just stop printing x, and that is 1 lakh okay, yeah. So you can see the value is trying to get there, but it takes a lot of time. It actually took around let's zoom in over here. So yeah, it took around at least 3500 iterations to just reach in the ballpark of 3.14 something. Okay, and now I mean this is I mean it's okay. It's an okay series. As you can keep on out, the line will keep on getting thin as there are so many iterations. It's really difficult to see the alternation, but yeah, you can see the alternation. It's 3.141 and then 0.0006 and all that stuff. So let's just exit out of this and let's just try to recreate the entire plot for our second thing. So we have to, I'm just gonna copy and paste because it's much easier than typing everything. And we'll remove the print. We'll append the entire thing. And then we're gonna append. And if you do not know what append and all that stuff is, I already have a lot of videos on my channel. Just go and check that out. I have taken a basic course for Python for you guys. And then we'll try plt show, and we will stop calling method 1 and we'll just call it method 2, and let's not do it for 1 lakh, we'll just do it for 100 turns. Let's see what happens. And where is the graph? Did it lag out or something? Did I make a mistake somewhere? Hold on guys, let me check. Yeah, I figured out the mistake. Apparently you are supposed to put parentheses. That's how you call a function. I accept the responsibility on that. Let's just try to print 100 values again. Let's just see how the plot is. And this is a much as you can see, the value really targets pi really soon. So it just starts really high and then it starts on getting really close to pi, and there is little to no alteration. If we keep on zooming, you can see it changes really slightly. We can go forward, and yeah, we can do this for more terms. Let's give it a few, let's say 10,000 terms. And where's the, yeah, this is the old figure. Yeah, so this is a new one, and as you can see, till 10,000 the value is so perfectly like like you can barely see any alteration. at all. We'll just keep on zooming it, and yeah, you can see it's 3.14159, and this is on the level of -6 magnitude, and this is the change that you can see. So yeah, comparing both the series, clearly the second one is doing way better. And yeah, that's it. That's the pi video. Maybe I hope you learned something from this, and I hope you create your own pi series. There are a lot of series out there which you can recreate on Python to find the value of pi. If you like this video, then obviously like the video on YouTube, and if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing, since it really helps out the channel, and it keeps me motivated to make these kinds of stuff. It's obviously time intensive, and as a lot of you have noticed that it's not actually, I'm recording it before the pi day, obviously, because it takes a lot of time, recording and all that stuff. Anyways, drop a comment if you have any doubts, contact me personally, whatever you need. That's it. Signing out.